Hey folks, John Peniel here, The John Peniel Show. Another beautiful day on the South Hill, Spokane. Alright, so this is going to be a little different. This show is titled, How to Shift into a Higher Reality. Okay, so what do I mean by that? Well, believe it or not, each and every single one of us lives in our own unique reality. So we all assume that we all live in the same reality, and for the most part we do. However, there are certain glitches. What do I mean by that is that each of us perceives reality in a totally different way. So perception basically puts you in a different reality. They're interrelated. For instance, I can see the color green, and it would look probably greener to me than the next person, let's say. Or I could look at a bird and I see more colors on the bird, whereas the next person wouldn't see as many colors. But which person is right? Well, both are right, because each person is living in a slightly different reality. There is a common reality in which both of us are seeing a bird, for sure. But then there's the fact that each of us perceives things differently. And perception is tied into a different reality. I mean, it's just, I think even quantum physics proves this. I'm not too much on quantum physics, but from what I understand, they've found out that there is an interrelationship between perception and the actual reality in which you live in. So what you want to do is you want to shift to a higher reality, don't you? And that is possible, by the way. I'm living testimony of it. I did it last night, as a matter of fact. I'll relate this story. So what I did last night was a little different than I usually do in my spiritual exercises. So what I did was I put on a very powerful piece of music. I'll tell you the name of the group. The name of the group is called Magma. You heard me right, Magma. It's a French rock group from the 70s. So I listened to this particular piece that they made back then. Very powerful, very spiritually powerful, primal piece of music. And then as I was listening to it in my headphones at almost full volume, I imagined myself sitting in a circle, holding hands with other people who are like-minded, who are spiritually attuned to higher things. So, a better way of saying is that people who have the intention of being attuned to higher things. Let's put it that way. I don't want to give the impression that I'm higher than anybody else, because I'm not, because we're all in this together. But that was my intention. And so as I envisioned that, I was listening to the music with my heart, with the intention of being one with the people in my visualization and one with God. And it was very moving, very powerful. It was a half-an-hour experience. And then a couple hours later, I was scrolling down on Facebook, and then I saw a picture of New York City, Manhattan, up from the air, showing New York or Manhattan from the air, and it showed Central Park. And let me put it this way: I'm very much an aficionado of Manhattan, of New York City, so I know a lot about the city. I'm not an expert, but I have looked at Central Park on Google Earth Maps many times, hundreds of times. So I know what's in Central Park. I've been there personally. But anyway, when I saw this picture on Facebook, I did a double take, then a triple take. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Lo and behold, as I was looking at Central Park, I saw this huge building right in Central Park that's like over 1,000 feet long and about 500 feet wide. And I said, what in the world? That's not supposed to be there. I've never seen that. Where did this building come from? As some of you can guess, you can surmise where I'm leading to on this. This is a little something. This phenomenon that I experienced is called the Mandela Effect. Look into it. I don't want to like make a show. I don't want to talk about it really too much here. I might do a separate show on that. But type in Mandela Effect, Mandela, on the YouTube, and you'll find plenty of stuff on it. Trust me, it's a very real phenomenon where people experience a shift in realities, and that's what I experienced last night. So lo and behold, I tried to figure out what this building was, and then I researched it and I found out that it's actually a museum of art, and it's called the Metropolitan Museum of Art. Very important. It was established in 1870, and and I said, oh my God, I was over there in Central Park, right in that very area where that building is. I was there 6 months ago with a friend. And let me tell you, I can say with 100% absolute certainty that I saw no building over there. It's just nothing but trees and grass in that area where now there's a building, a huge building. And a very important one at that. And so you may be asking, well, how could this be? Well, that's exactly what it is. Alternate realities. Each of us inhabits our own reality. By the way, I was with my friend 6 months ago, standing right there. And my friend, he's lived in Manhattan all his life. He knows Manhattan upside, and just like the back of his hand. And he's really into art. He's really into going into museums and stuff like that, because that's what we did when we hung out together. And he said nothing. He mentioned nothing about this museum in Central Park, even though we were standing right there. I saw nothing. He saw nothing. See what I mean? This is like I shifted into a different reality. This is real. This is real, folks. You may be real skeptical of this. You may think, "Oh, no way." But if you look into it honestly, with an open mind, you'll find out sooner or later that it's an actual real phenomenon. So it dawned on me last night that that I had shifted, and that what shifted that was my experience that I had while listening to that music. And here's the kicker, folks. Today, the very next day, I go down to a lower part of the South Hill where I live, about 2 miles away, and I go into a thrift store, okay? This is today, the very next day. I go on there and I go into the little small book section, and I see this book just it's just like calling my name. I see this book. It's called The Last Templar. It's a novel. I forget the name of the author. It came out about 15 years ago, and I said, let's pick this up. I picked it up. I turned the book over to see what the basic plot line was as I read the back of it. And guess what I saw? The basic plot line was that there's this secret society of Templars who live in Manhattan, who go into Central Park, into, you guessed it, the Metropolitan Museum of Art. And I just almost dropped the book. I said, what? What are the odds of this? So I knew I was tapping into something really deep here. Really deep. So, okay, so what's the upshot of this whole thing? Okay, so for me personally, I believe this happened because it was like a confirmation that I'm on the right path, in my spiritual path, and that it's giving me more faith in myself and in God, that I can indeed manifest certain things. I, like in a very real way, I manifested that building. Not just me, but the people who were with me in my imagination as I did that visualization exercise. And you can do that too. This is you don't want to like get caught up in it where you're just like saying, "Oh, cool, I'm going to visualize, whatever, in my head. I want to manifest this." You don't want to look at it like that. You want to have a pure intention. So that's the first thing. You want to have a pure intention. The pure intention is unity consciousness. I can't stress that enough. And building up compassion in your heart for yourself and for your fellow man and woman and child. That's the key. I cannot stress that enough. So building up compassion and unity consciousness. And unity consciousness can be built up by intentionally putting yourself in a mentality where you want to be there for people. You don't have to do like superhero type things. I'm not saying that. It's just more like opening up your heart so that you will be there for people in a very compassionate way. And also opening yourself up to being receptive to the goodness that exists in this creation, that God has put in this creation. So you're opening yourself up to receiving, and you're opening yourself up to giving. So you're freely receiving, freely giving. You just don't want to be a giver, because if you're just a giver and you're not opening yourself to receiving, you're gonna run yourself dry. You're gonna burn yourself up. So that's the key. Be humble enough to receive all the good things that God, the universe, God through the universe wants to give to you. And He wants to give you everything, by the way. And be open to giving freely what you're receiving continually. So you're always receiving, and you're always giving, and you never run out. It's like you're creating a circuit, basically. So it's a flow of spiritual, powerful, potent energy when you're aligning yourself like that into that mentality, unity consciousness, and when you do that, you manifest into higher realities, as I described a few minutes earlier. Okay, folks. So that's it. I hope this helps. I hope this inspires you, and I think I might do another show on this. We'll see, God willing. Just to give a plug for myself, put a like on my channel and share out my stuff so other people can see, and subscribe to my channel. I'd much appreciate it if you did. All right, much love to everybody. Shalom and namaste.